Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Jared from Two Lands Token. Thanks for joining into my little casual coffee chat. So for those that listened in last night, I had shared that at one time in my life, in most of my 20s and into my early 30s, that I was a professional drummer. And that one day, collectively, my band, we had all decided to pursue other things in our life. And I woke up this morning and someone had asked me if I had any regrets, or they said, I hope you don't have any regrets. And it's a double-edged sword, because at one point in my life, especially right after that, I had many regrets. I was lost. I wouldn't say I sunk into a depression, but I was certainly confused. I was terrified. Everything I had planned for, everything that I thought was going to be for my future, in a moment's time was like stripped away from me. And I was just terrified in that I didn't know what was next. I didn't know what my future held. So it made me think of today's quote, and I had stumbled upon this quote way back then, and it's one of my favorite quotes of all time, and it's anonymous, unfortunately, so we can't even give credit to the author. But I think it's at that moment when that quote, or shortly after that, that I really started thinking about this particular quote and what it means. So here it is. So, what screws us up most in life is the picture in our head of how it's supposed to be. Right? So think about that. We're not entitled to anything in this world. Nothing is owed to us. So, life's not easy. It's not meant to be. It's not fair either. After all, it kills us. Think about it. So, in order for us to truly find happiness, we need to come to terms with the rules of the game, the rules of life, or the lack thereof rules. It's only then that we can set ourselves up to position for success and ultimately for happiness, which comes from inside. So, if you're one of those that believe in fate, my advice to you is that fate may manifest in different ways. It's not only always going to knock on your front door. It's going to reveal itself perhaps subtly. And it's really up to you as an individual, all of us as individuals, is to connect those dots, right? Life, what I've found, is like a book in many ways. It's a series of chapters, right? Your life is like chapters, but some of those chapters are going to be written for you. There's just nothing you can do about that. But many of those chapters, you have the opportunity to control that narrative. And when you start to realize that, I think naturally things just start to fall into place, right? They say chance favors the prepared mind. So I'm going to leave you with that today. I want you to get out there, and I want you to put the proverbial pen to paper and start writing your story, because we do all have a story to tell. But the problem with that is, some stories are not always going to be happy. Some are going to be sad. Some are going to deal with love, heartache, all sorts of things that we experience in life. But ultimately, you have that power to control that narrative as best as possible. So I implore you to get out there and do that today. Start writing your chapter, friends. With that, have a great afternoon. Thanks.